And welcome everybody to episode 34 of Rime the Frost Maiden. I'm Samson Paul with the rest of the party with me. How is everyone doing tonight?
Pretty
I
good.
am ready for some D&D.
Same.
It's been a while. It's been a few weeks, so everyone's ready to get back into the groove of it, hopefully.
Yeah.
Should have a pretty fun session in store with where we left off last time. But at the moment, cheap plugs out for anyone. Chris, would you like to plug the tavern?
Yeah, absolutely. Please join the tavern. It's a D&D tabletop RPG community Facebook group. Facebook's pretty trash, but we're okay, and we encourage you to come in and have a good time and vibe with some nice people. Meme of the Month returns next month on the 1st. In fact, next month on the 1st, we got a whole new block of scheduling and theme posts. Hopefully, if we can maintain this, there's one for every day of the week, and we're very excited to be doing this. Hopefully with a bit of consistency, too. So please, if you haven't already, join us at the tavern. Have a good time. Come talk and shoot the snot with us or whatever you want to do. And, yeah, that's about it.
Shoot the breeze. Shoot the breeze would be
shoot the breeze.
Yes.
I was gonna say shoot the shit, and then I had to quickly censor myself. I know we can curse here, but I tried, and snot was what came out. But
That's
breeze,
all right.
that works better.
It's better for snot to come out than shit.
Yeah,
Testify.
I would agree with
Testify.
that. Yeah. Oh man. Anybody
Like,
else
can you
want to
speak
plug?
on that matter personally?
Yeah, can you? Can you?
No, obviously not.
Yeah, I don't know what
I think you should
you're
ask
talking
Leg.
about. Maybe like
No one here has ever
No.
shit their pants.
that's
Ever.
That is a no.
In real life or at the table?
Right. Neither.
Yeah, no way in real life.
Absolutely
That's never happened when you're trying to take a piss and for some reason everything's loose. No.
Oh no. Well, we were alluding to the time that the brown note was played, but good to know, Andy. Let's see. Anybody else? Let's see. Follow my social media, Twitter, at Samson Paul, and then also barely on TikTok at Samson Paul as well. Give those a look if you're into those platforms. Anything else from anybody?
Yeah, I would like to go ahead and plug Repo the Genetic Opera, going on stage next month, August 27th and 28th at downtown Nathan P. Murphy's in Springfield, Missouri. We're halfway through rehearsals now, just about, and it's going really good. We got half the party here, almost half the party that is in the cast, and it's going to be a bloody good time. Come and see it.
Are tickets on sale yet?
No, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, when they're on sale, they fly like hotcakes. So I mean, once that
That is
drops,
true.
get on
Yeah, for sure.
May I piggyback off that plug?
it. Yeah, sure.
If you are a fan of Reaper the Genetic Opera, then this weekend we have a small treat for you. Myself and then Clara, another very talented member of our party, will be performing some pieces from another one of the works written by the same person who wrote Repo, Devil's Carnival. So if you really like that kind of stuff, songs about seduction, murder, seduction, murder, then you definitely want to come check that out. There's also some fun, twisty role play. I will say no more. That'll be occurring in this weekend's show, this Friday and Saturday, also at Nathan P. Murphy's. And tickets for that are, in fact, on sale. So if you're a local, come check it out. It will be a titillating time.
Or even if you're not a local, come on downtown.
Make the
yeah,
trip.
Allegiant's cheap.
Allegiance cheap. Go see the Bass Pro Shops, the headquarters that's here in town, and also go see the show at Nathan P. Murphy's this weekend, and book a return flight for Repo the Genetic Opera. Allegiance real cheap.
Yeah.
All right. Last call for plugs, but if not, we'll get on to the recap. And going once, going twice, and sold to the DM. Last we left the party 3 weeks ago now. The party has made their way back to Caer Dineval, which has kind of been a home base for the party, taking refuge with the individuals that had taken hold of that facility, and kind of creating a home base to return to in this icy hellscape that they find themselves in. But during this visit, our beloved barbarian Carcass decided to go ahead and start adventuring on his own, and broke through a hatch that went down to the basement, and came to a pretty close call with death, running into some black mold, raging, and continuing to try to destroy the black mold with an axe, not being able to see, or brown mold, sorry, where exactly it's coming from, and was at the very precipice of losing his life, where he was found shortly thereafter, after running into some prisoners that he had discovered, by Avarice, the wizard that inhabits the basement of this facility, that kind of is allied with the individuals that are currently living there. At which case, left her in a pretty interesting situation, one of power, as she came across Carcass, discovered that he is in fact alive. And as the party came to find Carcass, Avarice pointed her staff at Carcass and demanded that Vega, our druid, disclose where he had come across the books of the ancient Netheril, or he would not be holding on to life for much longer. Which, with a little bit of a push and a shove, was able to get the information from Vega, and created an ice wall to seal herself off from any reinforcements that might be coming. And Carcass was able to be retrieved and rowed back down into the canal, the icy canal, back to the rest of the party, where Lysander was unhappy with what had transpired here and killed one of the guards that was around the party when they made this discovery, and shoved him into the icy canal down below. And that's precisely where we left off, and where we will pick up. If anyone would like to elaborate a little bit further on anything else, please feel free to go right ahead. It's been a while, so it might be a little bit harder to recall exactly specifics from this point in time. But I believe everyone would be downstairs, talking and getting a lay of what they wanted to do next. What would the party like to discuss, and what's your next move?
Okay, so I remember Vega had gone upstairs to get a few party members and bring them back down. Had I told them everything, gotten them back down and told them everything that had happened?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. I wasn't sure on that. In that case, Vega would probably suggest, why don't we go try and free these prisoners, and then, I mean, we're gonna need to take her down, so...
Hold on just a moment, Vega. You're telling me Lysander killed an innocent guard?
Yeah, it did appear that way.
That's absolutely abhorrent. I can't believe... I'm fucking with you. Alright, let's go take this bitch down.
Yeah, I do feel like that needs to be discussed, but now is not the time. Let's go.
So, you guys want to go and pursue Avarice, or because you guys are fairly beat up, if I remember correctly? Could be wrong on that. I know there was talk of arrest, so I just want to be sure that you guys review your hit points and all that, make an informed decision.
Is Avarice down towards where the prisoners are last we saw her?
So from what Carcass was telling you, yes, she is in that same direction. You go past where her little quarters are, and that channel eventually tapers off into a couple of rooms that have been used as prison cells.
If I might ask, so once we catch up with Avarice, what would our intentions be, out of curiosity? Tit for tat, quid pro quo?
Yeah, I mean, she tried to kill Carcass, so she obviously needs to be taken out.
She held his life hostage in exchange for information, and he was already near death when I found him. And
So it's revenge murder.
it's justice.
Right. Okay, hey, no judgment here. I was just curious. Let us see.
No one who views human life, well, human, no one who views life that way deserves to have it for themselves.
Interesting.
Little harsh, if you ask me, but I suppose I understand what you're getting at.
Yes, I understand the intent. But we'll leave semantics alone. This is not the time, as you already said, Vega.
All right, I would like you guys to make perception checks at this time.
$14 for Lek.
That would be a 2. I'm still amazed we got wine.
Dirty 20 for Lysander.
30-20, all right.
Vega got a 6.
I got a -1.
Andy got an 8.
So,
14.
did you, what did you get, Zizix?
14.
14, okay. So, Lysander, you would be able to, you hear the flapping of wings coming from up towards the canal, just one set, and then you quickly catch a glimpse of a bird that had been flying in this channel, and you see it kind of go up towards the wall, and looks like it's squeezing itself through some sort of crevice of some sort.
What kind of bird is it?
It's a blackbird, so a crow or a raven. It's kind of hard to tell at this point.
I would like to point out the birds, everybody.
Meaning that small dark object trying to squeeze out itself like poo through a sphincter?
Jesus.
If you want to put it that way.
That's
Yes.
disgusting.
I call it how I see it.
Oh, everybody poops. It's fine.
It's true, it is fine. I just want to point that out to everybody before we continue this venture.
Well, that could just be a bird. It could also be Avarice. She may have means to transform herself. But at this point, I kind of hope it is her, so we don't have to deal with her right now while we're slightly weakened, because we know where she's going. She's going to the spire.
Oh, of course, that's right.
I
So
mean, we have to go back there.
we might. But as of right now, just in case she is still in the direction we're going, I vote we take a short rest so we're not in quite as rough of shape before we head that way.
Could I possibly ask what are the pros and cons of letting her live?
I tend to agree with Silas on this one.
I can't think of a pro, but if you have one, let me know.
Well, we wouldn't be going out of our way from our current endeavor. We'd be traipsing through cold weather to an unexpected encounter. Netheril sucks. Personal experience, forgive me.
And as I understand it, I think there's more people relying on us, fixing the mind flares. I mean, I feel terrible for Carcass, I truly do, but someone tries to kill him every day. This really isn't anything new.
I'm going to be honest. I'm also just worried that she's going to become a threat, that she's going to find something there that's going to make her a much bigger threat later on.
That's my thinking too.
Everyone's a threat if you give them enough time and credit.
Which is why I was suggesting we don't give her the time.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
At the end of the day, this group is only mine in name only. So I'll go where you wish.
I'm not presuming to make this decision for everyone. If the party feels we should handle the mind flayers first, I'm okay with that. I'm just making it known that I think she will become a bigger threat if we let her go there.
Why don't we deal with the mind flayers, because we know where she kind of stays. We know where to find her.
That is true. I'm fine with that.
And a night of rest and drinking wine, I think it's been a while since we've had anything like that. Certainly been a while since I've had anything like that. How is the wine, by the way, DM?
Well, let's see. The wine is very good. You can tell that it was a very educated palate that had acquired this wine. So Trovis from Karakonig, he knows his wine.
I'm shocked that it's almost up to my standards.
So, you guys continue to have this conversation and sit down and take a load off and start to go into rest mode for a short amount of time. And you glance around and you hear some water moving ever so slightly sometimes, and you look and it's the poor guard that was eviscerated and shoved into the icy pool of water. And you start to hear footsteps from time to time from up above, but nothing too alarming as time passes. Anything else you guys would like to discuss during this time, a short rest?
Well, since we're staying here for a little while, should we come up with some kind of story to cover up the death of the guard from the other guards? I always enjoy good old deception, so, I'm your man if you need anything like that, but I think that might be just if we're going to run into that encounter potentially. The longer we stay, the more likely, I have to say.
It's not a terrible idea. Lysander, how did you kill them?
Slit his throat and then kicked him into the icy drink.
So he tripped and fell onto a knife, cut his throat open, and then, trying to roll away, rolled into the water.
Andy glares at Silas.
What? A stunning amount of people have tripped and fallen onto knives and no, we probably murdered them.
We can say Avarice did it. And then took off.
I don't think they'd find that believable. How about this? Someone said there's prisoners down here, right? Maybe he got too close to the bars and they had a shiv handy and slit his throat. He fell into the water and washed up over here.
Which I also think that should be our next course of action, is to go and free them. And I'd say, yeah, upon freeing them, they attacked him, killed him, threw him in the water.
So we'll free them and throw them under the bus at the same time. Delightful.
We can't do that to innocent people.
To be fair, there are 8 of us, and I imagine 8 of us sneaking down into a little cell or whatever to free prisoners, only to throw them under the bus and likely get them killed. I'm just saying, it might be a little hard to pull off with the sheer volume of us.
Also, who is truly innocent among us? Really?
Andy folds her arms. Those people are innocent of this crime.
No, but they're in prison for a reason.
I didn't do anything.
They're not in.
No, and we're
We
so
don't know that
proud
they're
of
in
you,
prison for a
Physics.
good reason.
We don't know that they aren't. That's my point. We don't know anything about them really at all.
I certainly don't know anything about them. It's as if I wasn't even here.
Yes, you were a bit out of it earlier. Almost like you're in a trance of sorts.
I was just so shocked that we got wine.
Ah, yes, well. There were benefits from listening to Trovis drone on about the good old days, I guess.
What did they say exactly? Because I stopped listening entirely.
Oh, something about he likes to wave his big axe around, and that's really all I remember. Started picturing other things in my brain at that point.
That may make sense why I tuned out. I tend to only listen to important people.
Right.
Did you say something, Lek?
No, good one. Oh, Silas.
Zing.
The quick wit.
All right. So, Lysander, going off of that same perception check that you had rolled earlier, you glance down to the Chardolin amulet that you had picked up off the guard, and you see that it's still emanating a very faint. Well, it's not quite. It's an icy blue aura, just slightly pulsating, as it quickly starts to fade as your eyes are laid upon it. All right.
Go ahead and pocket that for now.
Okay. So at this point, I would go ahead and consider that everyone had a short rest. So go ahead and heal up for what you can.
I am perfect.
And I would like your next course of action to be specific.
It's been a long time since I've used hit dice. I forget how exactly they work and where D&D Beyond tells you what they are.
So on the web page, you can use. Let's see. You click on the short rest button, and it'll tell you how many or what type of dice you use. And you click in the bottom left and use however many you would like to try to recover. Roll
Gotcha.
them, and then add those plus your bonuses, and take a short rest.
Awesome, thank you.
What time of day is it now, Sam?
You guys were getting in at sunset, so it's probably an hour or so after that. So it's nighttime, but closer to maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon in actual accurate time.
Well, now that we've had a short rest, given what all has occurred in this dungeon, I say we make a discreet exit and continue on our way to, the Mind Flayers.
Aren't we going to free the prisoners?
I thought we hadn't established why that would be beneficial, but I'm all ears.
I remember above table hearing why they were incarcerated, but did anyone other than Carcass hear that? I don't remember in game if I heard that or not.
Carcass was alone in that endeavor, so he would be your sole source of information.
Wonderful. Hey, Carcass.
Yes.
Do you have any idea why these people were imprisoned?
Oh, I don't really remember. I've had a very, very long day.
Carcass, do you want to go after her?
Well, if I do we get to kill her?
In time, yes, but I'm curious if you're prepared to do such a thing, or if you're ready or feeling up to it. You've been through quite a lot of trauma, and there's nothing wrong with resting.
Oh no, I'm always ready to kill people.
No matter where we go, there's plenty of killing to be done, I'm sure.
Should we go try and find out why these people are imprisoned, or just let them rot?
And I say let them rot. That's... How many did you say were in there, Carcass?
1, 2, 3.
Carcass counts
more,
12.
more than 3.
Carcass, do you think we should free them?
Well, I tried to bend the bars on their place, and I could not do it. So I don't think any of you can do it either.
Well, there may be another way. I just mean, do you think they're good people?
Oh, I mean, they did not have any food to share with me, so they can't be that good.
There you have it. Sounds like 3 extra problems to me.
We have keys, don't we? Didn't we get keys from the guard?
Yes, you did. You did pull the keys off of the guard before he was sparted into the water.
Isn't the boat gone?
The boat is down a ways, if I recall correctly, but it's around the middle of the channel. It's retrievable with a little bit of time.
The longer we stay, the more risky everything gets here. I just want that to be said before we go rescuing people.
Look, I'm not going to be upset with any decision that's made, but why don't we just put it to a vote? Who thinks we should rescue the prisoners? And I will raise my own hand.
Andy will raise her hand.
I'll raise my hand.
And so was Isaac.
That is 4.
Okay. That is 4. Who thinks we should let them rot?
Lek raises his hand.
1,
Silas raises his hand.
2.
Eclipse, you need to raise your hand too, I imagine.
She's
Eclipse
not raising
loves
her
me.
hand.
We know she'd raise her hand.
Well, and at this point, she wouldn't be the tiebreaker anyways, so...
Correct.
Carcass hasn't voted.
That is true. Carcass, do you have an opinion?
Gotta have an opinion.
Yes, I have lots of opinions. I think whichever way we go that will kill people sooner, we should do that.
You know, a thought does occur. We could simply ask the prisoners what they're in for, and if they are in for something terrible, I'm sure Carcass could just kill them, get that out of his system.
Silas, do you have to put that idea out there?
Yes, I do.
Andy just shakes her head and walks off.
He is right, Andy. They did look weak. I could kill them very easily.
I know you could, Carcass. I'm so proud of you.
Andy's walking away from the group.
Let's just go find out why they're down here, and I'm gonna follow her. I assume she was walking in the direction of the prisoners.
Follow her into the water. Good call.
No, she was just walking away from the group, fed up.
So there is like a secondary room over to your left, if you're looking at the channel, that had the bodies in there that you recovered some tinder from, if you recall. So Andy walks in that direction while Vega probably goes to retrieve the boat and bring it back and make it ready for travel down this icy channel.
Yes,
So-
that's what Vega does.
I assumed that's what you wanted to do since you're getting prepared. So, Vega retrieves the boat and brings it back, and it's ready to board. Are you guys ready to head down into the prison cells?
Democracy demands it.
So it does. So, as you guys traverse down this icy channel once more, you come to the door and it opens, and inside you just get a real sense of filth, rotting, just really horrible smells like this place has not been very well taken care of. And you hear voices off to the left that says, "Oh, quiet, someone's returned." And everything becomes very hushed in the room.
I'd like to cast Prestidigitation Cranberries.
Yeah, easy enough. You start to mask the overwhelming scent of this area with cranberries, and it's a little pleasant, but has a little bit of a lingering taste in the mouth, if that makes sense.
You're welcome.
I must say, if cranberries were the last thing I smelled before I died, that would, that might haunt me a little bit in the afterlife, if there is one.
Well, I think there are worse things.
All right, I'm going to approach one of the cages.
Yeah, and you look inside, and you see one man in particular, looking fairly old, very malnourished, at the bars, and he says, "Are you the Minotaur's friends? Are you here to help us?"
Possibly. We need you to answer some questions for us, though.
Sure. What do you have?
Why are you in here?
Also,
Well,
can you make a shiv?
I suppose we could make a shiv. We keep a few bones to gnaw on when the times of feeding go sparse. But as to why we are here, this was our home. And those black swords, they took it from us, and they're holding us and our town speaker captive against his will, claiming that he's sick.
I would like to roll insight.
Go ahead.
24.
24. He seems to be telling the truth. There's a lot of inflection in his voice that you kind of sense as passionate. And for someone in such a weak state of mind and obviously physically as well, you can tell that this is something that he holds true to his heart.
Let me ask you this. Before this happened, what were the circumstances of the town down below this castle? Were they as dire as they are now?
Well, things have been dire here for a long time, but I can't speak to say I know what the circumstances are like now. I'm stuck here.
I understand.
Can you describe?
How dire have they been before you were locked away?
We would take inventory of the food and all the rationing and such, and I feel like everyone was given their fair shake, but and he looks back into the cage and he said, "The steward can speak more to that. If Felonius, if you would like to speak to that." And you see this dwarf grab up to the side of the bars and pull himself up, and he says, "We were by no means eating like kings, but we were able to share everything fairly equally, I'd say. In case of, a dire blizzard, we'd had some food reserves, but things were always hard around here before the usurping of our castle."
Well, if I'm honest, that still sounds better than it looks now.
Oh no. You can talk to the chef if you don't want to trust us here. The chef, he was employed by the Black Swords to continue active service. He's on our side as well.
I see. Give me a moment, and I'm going to turn to the rest of the party and kind of lead them a little bit away from the cages so we can talk.
Sure. You can go on the other side of the door that this place was enclosed in.
I am very inclined to believe what they are saying. Something has felt off here since we've arrived. We've never seen the town speaker. I think we should free these people and let them take their home back.
I'm a little confused. So, you guys are in good with the people upstairs, but you've only just now discovered that they are not good people, but you've been good with them this whole time, is that right?
Yes, they welcomed us and treated us with hospitality, which was lucky for us because they do not do that with anyone else. And we enjoyed that hospitality, but we had no idea that they had done something like this.
So, just put this into perspective. If we do this, more than likely, especially given, the dead body down the river there, we will no longer have hospitality or respite here. So are we willing to let that be?
And what if Avarice comes back? What then?
Well, then she'll be here. We'll be wherever we are.
Well, if they successfully take their home back, which I will say they would probably need our help doing because they've been here getting weaker for a very long time, then I'm sure we would still have respite here and hospitality because they would be grateful to us.
Fair enough. So we're preparing to battle the forces of the fortress if we let them go. Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what it would shake down to.
What are they paying?
I hardly think that matters.
Oh, it absolutely matters. What are they paying?
I think if we negotiate...
Andy stares at Vega like she is just about done. And she's like, I have little interest in this venture if all we're out for is money.
I think what we're trying to do here, Silas, is the right thing, not the thing that will get us money. We have plenty of opportunities to get money through other endeavors.
And the right thing is so subjective. I simply want to make sure that if we are going to endanger ourselves and risk our lives, that it's going to be aptly rewarded.
Is having a place to stay whenever we come through town not enough in a fortress such as this?
It's not necessarily everything that we would like. I mean, it's suitable, but it could be more.
This is ridiculous. Andy's just gonna start working on the lock.
Silas, if you don't want to take part in the fight that is about to ensue, by all means don't. But we're doing this.
No, I'm not making you all do this ludicrous thing alone. Just because I have my own motivations doesn't mean I'm not going to stand with you. Like I said, the group is mine in name only. I go where you go. But I want to make sure that you understand that you could be ending your life for nothing. It isn't the smart move.
It's the right thing to do.
Well, if anything, we can at least leverage this later, so it wouldn't be totally for nothing if you think about it.
So Vega, as you see, Andy is starting in on the lock. Did you try to get the keys from Vega, or are you just going ham with your hammer?
Oh, do I know Vega has the keys? I forgot that.
I believe so. Yes.
Andy's just gonna hold out her hand to Vega for the keys.
Yeah, he will hand them over.
And
She'll release them.
you try a couple of keys. First couple don't work, but the third key pops open the door, and the inhabitants inside, you count about 13 or so. Very weak individuals, men, women, no children in the midst, but they're very grateful. Thank you, but I'm afraid that we are in no shape for fighting. We would have to leave that to you. I apologize in advance.
That's alright. You don't need to fight.
Silas is just going to look at Vega with his mouth agape, as if he's shocked.
I already said that was probably going to be the case.
So,
This should be fun.
the prisoners have been released. The boat is not big enough to take everyone all at once. It would have to be 2 trips. So how would you like to facilitate that?
Well, do we let the prisoners go first and trust that they'll send the boat back?
Why don't half of us go with half of them?
Okay.
No, I thought you were, on the whole, it's the right thing to do, Train, and just really just digging
They
us
might
over
need
for
protection if the people on the shore have imprisoned them like this. So it makes sense.
I don't remember ever saying that being stupid was the right thing to do.
them. And yet, here we are.
Wow. So, from what I can gather, half of the party will escort half back, and then the boat will be brought back for the rest of them, correct?
Yes.
Andy's going on the first boat.
I'll go
Andy's
with
gonna make sure she's on the
second
first boat.
Lex says.
Okay.
Second for Lex.
Very good.
I'll go on either. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. So
I'll go on the first boat.
Great.
So you load up with the prisoners and the people going on the first trip, and you make it back to shore just fine, offloading the prisoners, recently freed prisoners, and then who is making their way back, who's making the return trip.
I'll go back if you want, Adriana. Or you can.
Go ahead. I'll wait here with them.
Don't run away on us.
And on the way back, Silas, I would like you to make a perception check.
Wonderful, I'm shit at those. Oh, but it doesn't matter. A natural 20 plus 1.
Oh,
21.
very nice. So with your keen vision, you're able to notice that as you guys made the trip down and back, that something has changed about halfway down the channel. You see that the ice wall that you had seen on the way to go retrieve the prisoners and on the way back has now dissipated. And you see a
Wonderful.
statue sitting down the hallway with some moldy-like substance kind of on the back side of it.
Oh, I suppose they would want to know about that. I'll let them know when I arrive and just say, that wall is gone.
Oh, anything interesting behind it?
Oh, some moldy-looking statue, I suppose.
Who gives a fuck about that?
I don't know. We're all about, giving a fuck about unimportant things and people. I think we should check it out for 6 hours.
As Vega has a very obvious look on his face and turns to Silas. Beyond that wall is where Avarice was. So it might actually be important to see what's back there.
If you want to hump a statue, it's all you, man.
Yes, I'll accompany you. I've never seen an elephant hump a statue.
You could get your trunk involved. It'll be quite titillating.
Jesus. Oh.
Vega is just going to sit there and kind of clench his teeth and shake his head.
Well, are we going to take our ragaband group of prisoners with us? You guys want to go look at a statue and some sex fun? All right.
No, I'm taking the prisoners and both of you to the shore. And then I'm going to see if anybody else would like to accompany me there, because frankly, I'm getting sick of your company.
Now, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my mother.
You already said you didn't want to go down there, so I don't see why this is a problem.
No, I said it was stupid to go down there. I never said I didn't want to go.
We said we wanted to watch Vega.
Wonderful. Let's go back to the shore either way.
All right.
So loading up the rest of the prisoners and you're recollecting them with the rest of them? Reallocating them, rather?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So everyone is across the way, and you take a peek over to see where the ice wall used to be, Vega, and you see that it is no longer there, and confirming that. I'm not sure what lies beyond that. But you guys make it back to the shore and offload the rest of the prisoners, who are very thankful. But they seem hesitant to try to venture upstairs without arms or anything, and they hear the talk of investigating the other area, and they ask, "What would you like us to do?"
Get out!
If I were you, I would wait here for our return.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to suggest it, but now that you said it, that is fine. There's a room just over there that we could hunker down in and perhaps start a fire.
They're going to die. You know this, right? We leave them alone, they die. They run, they might be able to live at least a little longer.
We're just leaving them alone for long enough to make sure Avarice isn't still back there.
Not to be the voice of reason here, but didn't we see what we think might have been Avarice squeezed through some kind of crevice?
We saw a bird. We have no reason to just assume that that's her. We don't know if she has the means to transform into a bird or not. It could have been.
Right. So are we all going then?
I'd be happy to go, for one.
All right. Yeah, I'll tag along. Why not?
Andy, do you think we should go?
Andy's on the shore with the people.
They're back.
That's where we all are now.
Oh, am I? Okay. I mean, I think it could be useful. If that's what Avarice was so interested in, it might give us a clue as to what she's doing.
Okay. Well, let's go find out real quick.
All right. So, as you start to venture back down this icy channel once more, you grow closer to the outlet where you saw where this ice wall was constructed, and it's no longer there. You're able to tie yourself off to the post that sits into the channel just a little bit, securing the boat from moving in either direction. And ahead of you, you see the shrine to Levistus, as frost covers the floor of this dark 15-foot square room. And To your left and right, you see narrow tunnels, and across the entrance stands an 8-foot-tall pillar of ice with a horned, pale-skinned humanoid figure trapped inside it. And the pillar is wrapped in black chains. The wall behind it, you see, is covered in a brown fungus. You have
Now,
2 hallways.
I wasn't here last session. Is this anything Silas has seen previously, except for from a distance just now?
No, not from. He has not seen this previously. He did not go to rescue Carcass.
Then, yeah.
Vega saw it before, and I would have Vega make a nature check since you're the party druid.
Wonderful. That is a 21 for my nature check.
So you quickly identify this brown fungus as brown mold, and you know that brown mold deals significantly cold. It saps the heat right out from anything that gets close. So you know to be wary about the mold that's on the wall, as well as the shreds of it that seem to be splattered onto the floor.
Do I happen to know how close you can safely get to it?
Yeah, so if you were to go up to the shrine and like be within touching distance of it, that's when it's a little too close for comfort.
Gotcha. Okay. And you said there was a person frozen in this pillar of ice.
Yes.
What does the person look like?
Let's see. So give me an investigation check.
Seven.
So it looks to be a sort of a run-of-the-mill adventurer. But as you kind of gaze a little bit closer, you can't tell if he's just frozen in place from ice or if he's even a real person at all. You're not sure.
Okay. Would I know if melting ice would be able to safely get someone out of it? Or if they're frozen in a solid pillar, are they just kind of fucked?
With how, well, there is magic available to resuscitate them. Whether or not you would have access to such magic, though, is the other question.
Right.
Please,
But
Vega,
you
allow
know
me.
if they're on ice, the ability to bring them back later is greater because they do not deteriorate as quickly while they're encased in ice.
Gotcha. Okay.
Please, Vega, allow me. I cast Prestidigitation and make the words "likely do-gooder" appear on his forehead.
And he does just that.
You do realize you don't have to travel with us, right? Like, you do realize that.
Oh, I do. It's just a bit of fun. Sorry if it's a little too soon. Surely you know me and my fun by now.
Anyways, so I assume all we see around is everything you described, right? This doesn't go any deeper. There's no other
There are
areas.
2 hallways to your left and to your right.
Oh, I must have missed that. Is the brown mold close to the entrance to them?
No, the brown mold seems to be pretty well contained, except for the scraps that are on the floor, to just around this shrine. You would say that you're safe to pass either hallway without reprimand.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Did Vega tell us about this brown mold yet?
I don't think he verbalized it, no.
I did not know. But right now, I would suggest, okay, there's nothing we can do for that poor bastard in the ice at the moment. Let's go see what's down these hallways, and make sure it's nothing important before we leave.
What do you know about this brown mold?
Don't get close to it. You'll be real fucking cold and unhappy.
Any way to combat it?
Above table, I think I remember that, but in game, would I know?
You rolled, 21 on your nature check, I believe?
Yes.
So yeah, you would know that the brown mold in particular is very susceptible to cold itself. Whereas if you were to try to burn it with fire, it would just swell and grow.
That's what I thought I remembered, but I wasn't sure. Okay. Really, the best way to take care of it is with cold, believe it or not. Just whatever you do, don't try and set it on fire.
Noted. Fight cold with cold. Wonderful.
Yeah, sounds like it should be a Metallica song, doesn't it?
Fight evil with evil too, apparently.
Are you making fun of me?
Metal. That's funny.
I think I traveled with a Metallica once. Absolutely dreadful act.
They just headed out for those people who like to take naps. The napsters, as they call them.
Yeah.
So, right or left on the hallway, Vega, since you seem to be driving this expedition?
I have no preference. Do I see anything down either direction?
Just that there is a faint torchlight emanating from the left.
Then I will go that way first.
All right. So, this room looks to be some sort of private quarters of some kind. There's a small desk. It's barely lit with a very faint torchlight on the very far back wall. There's a white leather-bound journal that seems to be sitting atop this desk, and what looks to be a open bird cage. And then you see the ink with a quill into it, and it looks like a bunch of blank parchment sitting out. But as you take a look around, you don't see any sign of anybody else in here.
Does the journal appear to be trapped or warded in any way, or is it just sitting there?
There are symbols that you don't recognize immediately on the journal, but if you would like to try to identify them, that would be an Arcana check.
I've never seen a symbol before in my life.
Oh.
That was a nat 1 plus 4, so.
Very nice. Yeah, who knows? Pretty symbols.
Well, I'm gonna pick it up and look at it.
So as you pick up the journal, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my god, I'm shocked. Nat 20 plus 6.
As you pick up this journal, you just feel compelled to put the journal back down. But you fight through those immediate responses, and you hold this white leather-bound journal in your hand.
I would like to open it up.
Okay. I would like you to, this time, make a dexterity saving throw.
Great, that's what I'm good at. 2.
Oh no! So as you start to undo the leather latch of this book, it kind of juts open just slightly, and a small quill, looks like something off the back of a porcupine, just shoots out and hits you right in the in the trunk. You take 3 points of poison damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
$24.
24. All right. Yeah, everything seems fine.
Do we
Alright.
see this happen? I assume.
You see Vega kind of jut back in pain. Very briefly, he didn't take very much damage, and then you see him kind of looking at his trunk, pulling a little quill out.
What's that, Vega?
Something that hurt?
I'm gonna cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Yeah, definitely poison.
Well, I am still not. I'm still not able to cast a spell that gets rid of, because I don't have a high enough spell slot yet. So I will just.
Kiss it, make it better. I do the old
I
sex.
will just hold on, let me see if I have one more thing to check.
You're poisoned.
I feel fine.
I could help you now.
How's that?
What, for a price?
Absolutely not. I'd help because this is actually the right thing to do. Now, admittedly, you're simply facing the consequences of your own actions, but we are a team here.
Andy casts Cure Wounds on Vega.
Okay. I assume that'll take care of your 3 points of damage. Did you have any other HP you needed to recover?
Nope.
Okay.
Does that take care of poison or no?
No. It does
But
not.
to be fair, we have no idea if I'm actually poisoned yet or not, so.
So she casts Detect Poison, and it looks like that there is some inside of you. But whether or not it's a substantial amount at this point, doesn't seem to be of concern, if that makes sense. It's a very faint trace.
I'm fine as of right now. If anything changes, I'll let you know. And then I'm going to turn back to the journal and see what I see.
Okay.
You're all so disgusting.
So as you start flipping through the journal, you see that this is the A diary. It looks to be picking up in middle of. Doesn't seem to be the beginning. It kind of alludes to there being a journal before this, but it's one of the journals of Avarice herself. And it starts with the first page about a group of adventurers being invited into this castle that she has been taking roost in. But she goes on to say that she was told actively by Levistus to not bother these newcomers and get in their way until she was able to get some information and clues about where. Let's see, what exactly does it say here? essentially, Levistus had urged her not to antagonize the certain party of adventurers until they've helped her or gave her clues into the location of the lost city of the lost Netherese city of Ithern, which she details in this journal that Levistus says is somewhere in this region.
And do I see anything in there about why she needs to find this place?
No, you would assume that would have happened in the original journal, not this secondary one that you seem to have found. She makes allusion to it of it being an existing goal for some time, for as long as she's been up in this region.
Well, shit.
Can Lek at this time look around for anything object-wise that looks magical?
Sure. Let's see. Go ahead and roll investigation.
$18.
18. So, you take a look around and you see that there's a particularly messy looking carpet on the back side of the room that's partially uncovered, and you detect runes on the floor.
Zizix, in the interests of teamwork, I happen to have noticed some runes beneath this carpet over here, and I thought perhaps you'd like to come check it out with me.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the whole carpet.
Okay. And you reveal this very elaborate looking set of runes that are in a circle. It looks to be about maybe 3 foot wide, closer to 4 maybe in diameter. It's fairly large.
What do you make of this, Zizix?
Can I investigate, or I guess see
you
if
can
I
roll
know-
Arcana unless you wanted to use like your identify.
I'll use Arcana.
Okay.
Is it hang on one second. Would this be considered? Oh, never mind.
Okay.
As a nat 20, so 27.
Oh boy. So with that, you're able to quickly make quick work of looking over this circle, and you identify it as a teleportation circle. You recognize some of the runes that are on the outskirts of it. You're not sure where it leads.
Would I have knowledge of teleportation circles?
You would know what they look like. There is a certain set of teleportation circles that you have used in the past, but you know that you were always accompanied by someone who knew the teleportation spell.
Gotcha. So I would know that it requires a spell to activate.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this to me looks like a teleportation circle.
Interesting. Where do you think it goes?
Well, I mean, it could go anywhere. Usually, they have to go to another circle. So, I don't know if I've seen any recently. Could I do like a kind of like a history check or something to?
Sure. Go ahead and make that history check.
That's a 23.
This is
So-
why I brought him along.
You know that there were endeavors to create a new teleportation circle inside of Bryn Shander themselves, but with that being run by Gendrick, it did not ever come to pass. But the closest teleportation circle that you are aware of is Mirabar, as you've used that in the past.
Right. Well, the only one that I've used before is in Mirabar. But that's not to say that this couldn't go elsewhere. There was someone, at one time that was trying to create one in Bryn Shander. But I don't know if that ever got completed.
Interesting. Well, if I was a gambling man, I would say that Avarice probably used this to get away from us.
I mean, it's possible. There's a lot of different ways to get away from people.
Well,
I
none
mean,
would get you further away than this, I presume.
Who's to say that she's not still here?
True, it was covered partially by the carpet. That'd be hard to do if you're using it.
And as you guys are talking, you then start to notice that the carpet is slowly crawling its way back over the circle.
Oh, never mind. I bet it's a very good chance she did use this. Do you have any idea how to use it to go after her, since that seems to be part of our intention in the future?
No, you need to know the spell.
Very good. Well, at least we have something to tell everybody else
Yeah,
regarding where she might be.
I mean, if she knows the spell without a scroll, then I'm kind of hesitant to even try and fight her.
Oh no, I'm 100% with you in that regard. It's just trust me. I do believe it is a bit of a fool's errand. And that's just my opinion.
So, let's see. Vega's looking at the journal. We have Zizix and Lek looking over at the teleportation circle. Andy, Lysander, Silas, is there anything in particular that... Are you investigating the room as well?
Lenny's just standing by the door with folded arms.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't mind talking to Adriana in private if we have a moment.
Okay. Lysander, are you investigating the room?
Yeah, I was gonna see if I could find any footprints, possibly.
Go ahead and make a survival check for that.
That is a 21.
So you don't see any active footprints in the vicinity besides, ice and water that might have been tracked in by yourselves. But you do notice that on the pile of parchment that is near the bird cage, you see that the quill was hastily dripping something, and then you notice on the top parchment there's a slight indention in there to where you can actually, possibly with further investigation, read what was written in her most recent missive.
I would like to investigate that further.
Okay, make an investigation.
4.
You kind of you take a closer look at that parchment, and you accidentally splotch ink a little bit over, which actually goes to your benefit as it fills into the crevices and reflects off the very dim light, and you're able to see guess hostile, but that's all you can really make out.
Oh shit.
Those words are very far apart from each other, just to be clear with that.
Alright. I would like to take that back to the party.
All right. And as you're bringing that back, there's a side conversation we'll have quickly with Adriana, and Silas.
Are you really doing this, Adriana?
Doing what?
You know exactly what you're doing, and I am not so naive to ignore it.
Just say what you'd like, Silas.
Look, you of all the people here seem to understand me the most, and you seem to understand how I am, and we have always disagreed. But you're really going to let someone die to spite me?
Why would I let someone die?
You said you detected poison, I said I could get rid of it, and you waved me off.
It was a small amount of poison. It's probably not a big deal, and if it is, we'll take care of it.
Really? And what if I die before then?
Well, you still can take care of it if you like, Silas.
As I said, I won't do anything unless I'm instructed. But at this time, you've been acting far more holier than thou than you usually are. And I think something's wrong.
Something is wrong. An innocent man back there was killed that was likely just doing what he was told. By Lysander, of all people. Which is highly unusual. And I'm starting to feel as though the majority of this group are not very interested in what I'm here to do, which is help people. You and Lek, you're both more interested in making money than helping people, and you've made that very clear. I just can't really justify myself traveling around if we're going to kill innocent people. I don't want to be associated with that. I wanted to move away from my family, but I don't want to ruin my family name.
Adriana, I feel as though you place way too much importance on your actions.
Actions are important, Silas.
Yes, they are. But association isn't always something that's going to haunt you. If you truly have an issue with Lysander, bring it up with him. I will back you up should things escalate. We need to stick together, at least.
But you don't even agree with me most of the time.
So, I recognize that
So
you're
why do you
better
want
than
to
these
stick
people.
with me?
Because I recognize that you're better than these people.
That's not what I think.
Oh, by all means, delve into my mind. Tell me what I'm truly
No, I
thinking,
mean, I'm
Adriana.
not better than anyone. I just don't want to kill innocent people.
Then don't kill innocent people.
And I don't want to travel with people who do.
Well, it seems as though you've made up your mind. It's a shame,
I'm
really.
working on it.
There's nothing to work for. If you're not happy, chase your bliss somewhere else.
No, I mean, I'm working on making up my mind.
And as I said, there's nothing to make up.
Maybe you're right.
Do you know why I left Cormier?
No. Why?
I've told a few people already, but my father is very ill. I left, with the hopes that I might be able to find a cure for his ailment and that he may finally recognize me as the son he has, instead of overlooking me for my brothers. I've been completely written out of my own family history.
Yes, you did tell me that part. That's awful.
Yes.
Sorry he's ill.
No matter. Because I'm sure at this point he's already dead and there's nothing I can do to change that. But the least I can do is find other ways to gather importance to my own name. And maybe I could find someone very important to me who I suspect to have been banished to this area.
Who is that?
Lek knows the name, you can ask him.
Why wouldn't you just tell me?
Because it's not my piece to play.
Alright. don't know, Silas. I'll keep thinking about it.
Please do. I would hate to see you go, but at the same time, well, honestly, these people would die without you, and if I don't die, then that's more chances for me to just get away and out of all of this, and maybe I could go home, but probably not. Honestly, I've probably committed at least slight treason at this point.
Probably. That wouldn't shock me. No offense.
No, none taken. I take it as the highest of compliments. So, mind you, if you need someone to back you up and maybe off one of these people, I'll stand with you. If you choose to stay with us and don't mind the occasional murder, I'll stand with you there too. If you need a loveless marriage, I will unfortunately stand with you through that as well.
And he looks at him like he's grown 2 heads. I'm not really going in that direction at the moment.
That's fine. I'm too good for you anyway, but I'm just saying.
Right.
Well, shall we cheer up a little bit and go join the rest of the murderers? And by the time we finish up here, all those prisoners are going to be dead, I assure you.
They're not going to be dead.
They are absolutely going to be dead. Did you see the way they shambled? The way they're so thin? Are you kidding me? They've probably eaten at least one of them by now.
We'll go take care of them.
You will take care of them. I will watch.
You could help.
Not unless I'm instructed.
I instruct you to help.
Well, that really backfired.
And it's at this time that Lysander is calling attention to something that he's discovered inside of the room.
No, I wonder who he killed. Let's go.
And he follows.
So, if everybody's gathered round,
Yep.
Lysander would present the piece of parchment with the ink on it, with the intentions and the letters. I think I know where our bird friend was running off to. I believe Avarice sent a note with that bird. All I can make out is guests and hostile. If there's anybody that might be able to get more out of this, I invite you to try.
As Zizek go up and take it out of his hands. Take a look.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Very good. I thought that you might. Zizix?
How's a nat 1, so an 8.
An 8. Okay. So at the very start of the missive, you can make out the word Levistus, and then you kind of lose track of the line, and then you pick up, and then you see instructed, then guess, the one that Lysander pointed out, and towards the end of the message you see the hostile word that he also picked up, but not very much more than what Lysander was able to find initially.
DM question.
Yes.
If I were to perhaps place the parchment over my flask and pour a little sealing wax on the top and maybe run my pen down or quill down, would I be able to possibly highlight the indented words by essentially sealing everything around them by chance?
I would give you that investigation check at advantage.
Alright, I'll do that. Move out of the way, Zizix. I have an idea.
I'm just gonna bat him off as I'm still trying to look. Levistus? Anyone know a Levistus?
I don't think so.
I think he lives by numbers.
What I remember in game, who Levistus is?
Sorry, what was that?
Would I remember endgame who Levistus is?
Yeah, you would. The topics come up quite a bit. It's
Yeah,
the,
that's what I was thinking.
yeah.
It's
I just genuinely do not recall.
well, I'm trying. I'm trying to remember as I'm speaking right now. So correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. But
Sure.
Levistus is the god that the cultists worship, who imprisoned or is imprisoned by Asmodeus, which is the gods that I exposed the followers of.
Yes.
And that's why they were happy with me, is because I exposed the followers of the god that imprisoned their god.
Yes.
But they're both fucked up and evil, so.
So as Zizix bats Silas away from trying out his idea, what would you guys like to do?
I'd like to point out to everybody the teleportation circle. I think this is the means by which avarice has escaped our grasp. And as it stands, we don't really know where it goes, and we don't have the means to use it. But safe to say she's probably leagues away by now.
I know I certainly don't
probably
possess
right.
that kind of magic.
So Zizix, try as you might, that is the most that you can get out of that note.
Well, there's nothing else on here, so whatever. I just toss it on the ground.
Do we know where Levistus might even be located?
On the 7th plane of hell.
Oh,
It's a bit of a hike.
Deep south, nice and warm.
The deep south. Little Nicky reference, I like it.
After Zizix tosses the note on the ground, I'll reach down and pick it up and turn to Silas and say, you said you had an idea, yeah? As I hold it out to him.
I did, but it's clearly not welcome here. No worries.
I'd love to see it. As I'm still holding the note towards him.
Fine. And Silas will do what he was going to do,
Okay.
with the hopes of gleaming a bit more information.
All right, make your investigation check at advantage with the assistance of the wax.
I didn't do shit. 9.
So you're able to get just a little bit more information on this. You get the first full sentence before the wax seems to harden, but if you were to heat it up any further to continue to roll down, you worry that you might actually incinerate said piece of parchment. But the first sentence reads, Levistus has informed us that the guests that we have taken in have committed a murder. They are not to be trusted. Please inform not Kothas, that's Carcass is from. Oh, god damn, what's his name? Kadroth. Please inform Kadroth, and that's where it cuts off.
Well, it looks like the jig is up. The news is out. They finally found us. Take a look.
Nice reference. God, I love sticks. Okay, oh boy. Well, we're gonna have fun when we go upstairs, everybody.
Just out of curiosity, did you even look both ways before you murdered someone?
nope.
See, you need to enroll in my classes. I've never
Andy
been taught
looks
for murder.
at Lysander like he's grown a second head. That seems very unlike you.
I don't know. Something just came over me. And frankly, we got everything that we needed out of him, and so his usefulness had ended.
Let me see if I have what I want to have for this. Let's see.
I do understand that point of view.
I don't. I
Yeah,
cannot
thought you
detect
might.
good and evil.
Very sensible.
Look, I'm just saying, if you need to be a bit better about murdering and not getting caught, I could teach you.
Would Lysander resist Andy if she tried to put her family ring on his finger?
No.
She's
I
gonna
don't
try
know.
and put her family ring on his finger.
Okay, cool. Free ring.
Okay. She liked it, so she put a ring on it.
Oh my
Um,
god.
All right. Lysander, please make a charisma saving throw.
That is a 10.
So you will take 11 points of damage as the ring gives you a holy shock of some sort.
And I am going to scream out in pain whenever that happens. Say, what did you just do to me?
Andy's gonna try to take the ring off of him again.
I'm sure Lysander lets you.
Yeah, take it back. I don't want it.
I think we already discussed what just
She's
happened.
gonna put her hand on Lysander's shoulder and cast Cure Wounds. And then that'll give you back 10. And she's gonna say, this is a family keepsake of mine. Someone who is evil is not capable of wearing the ring without suffering what you just suffered.
Welcome
Does
to the
Zix
club.
hear this?
Yeah.
Zix is gonna say, "Whoa, what? He's not evil."
He wasn't. At least I didn't think so.
He isn't.
He is now.
What do you
I
mean
love how
now?
I love how he talks if there's a fine line between good and evil, where there really isn't, from my experience.
No, but clearly at some point, Lysander's turned down a darker path.
Fuck.
Whoa, what are you talking about? I've known Lysander for a long time, and he's not evil.
Andy puts on the ring herself and shows it to Zizix. And then she takes it off and hands it to Zizix and says, put it on. You can. And if you want to examine it, feel free to. You'll find out what it does, and then you'll know.
But, like, what? And Zizix is just gonna, his brain's hurting a little bit.
Not that you trust me, I could identify it as well as Zizix.
You
Yeah,
can
but
take my
could
word
you
for
even
it.
wear it?
Absolutely not. But I could identify it.
Yes, and if you recall our fun that we had at the last town, I've already confirmed everything that Adriana is telling you. Or did you forget that fun little tale?
Oh no, I recall that night.
I don't know if I was present when that happened, but yeah.
So Zizix is going. Can he roll a
Arcana?
No, I just want to tell if she's truthful.
Oh, insight.
wow.
Okay.
Inside. That's it. Man, those nat ones are rolling now.
Oh no.
So do I think she's banging on?
So, your head is in a spin with trying to process the information that Lysander could be evil while you're being handed this ring that looks very holy. You see a bunch of holy symbols on that depicting the deity that Andy worships and serves for. So when she tells it to you, you're kind of just in intellectual shock at this point, and you really can't make heads or tails of anything.
I have another way we could solve this.
Zizix is gonna throw the ring away.
Hey! Andy's gonna go get it.
Well, I should rephrase it. Are we close to the water?
No, you're not.
Okay. He'd still throw it away.
Okay.
Can
What?
Silas try to intercept that ring? I understand
Yeah,
not
go-
as athletic.
You can make a dexterity check, and I would be able to grant that, I'd say.
Nah, that's a 9. I probably trip and fall in snow or some shit.
Yeah, Carcass is kind of in the way from the trajectory of where Zizix had tossed the ring and obstructs your ability to intercept.
Caucus, I absolutely appreciate you blocking for me. It's really appreciated, especially in battle. I was just trying to make a point.
Yes, you are welcome.
Andy walks over and retrieves the ring that Zizix had thrust upon the ground.
I'm not made of spells, Silas. You shouldn't put it on. I think
I'm
you've been
simply saying-
very open about your allegiances.
Yes, and I think it would go further to prove that one of us has taken a turn to the dark side, as it were.
I think perhaps it's not so much proof that Zizix needs, but time.
It's a shame we have pastries. Well, wine.
I think that we can discuss this another time. Have we already forgotten that Avarice just sent a messenger bird to one of the lords of hell?
But
She
he
sent
left
a message
the note
to my
behind.
father.
Sure. If your father is Levistus or one of the agents of Kadroth, whichever.
So I'll clarify. The first sentence of it read that Levistus had disclosed that information to her. You did not see who it was addressed to, if anyone in particular.
Oh, I thought that the first word was Levistus.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Levistus is dictated or disclosed. I forget how I phrased it.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Either way,
Same thing.
Either way, we are in trouble with possibly a very, very powerful god from hell. So maybe we should discuss that over me.
We've got a god from hell against us. We've got the would-be god in Orella against us. We're just raking in the enemies, aren't we?
Yeah, we make friends along the way.
So long as we don't kill them indiscriminately.
The true friendship, or the true treasure.
The
Unseen
enemies
death.
found along the way.
Okay, Andy, if we want to hop on that high horse, raise a hands to anybody that has blood on them. I will raise my hand.
Andy will raise her hand.
I laundered myself earlier today. Just kidding.
Carcass has a lot of blood on
Carcass
him.
has not bathed in months.
Yes, I would like to raise both hands.
I'll raise my trunk.
This hardly proves a point, Lysander. It's
Silas will
different
not raise
to
his hand.
slaughter someone innocent.
I wouldn't say that he was innocent. In fact, I would say that he was complicit.
Or ignorant.
So ignorance is an excuse, huh?
If he didn't know what was going on, then it's not his fault. But we
Yeah,
didn't
but I
ask
feel-
that.
I asked everything that I needed to. I got the information that I needed whenever he was of no use. Well, he met his demise.
As much as I'm sure we're all enjoying dungeons of our lives, perhaps we should get back to addressing the tasks at hand.
Thank you. Yes, I am through talking about me.
Oh, maybe later.
Andy's just gonna shake her head.
So, what would the party like to do at this point?
Is this the end of this particular hall?
The end of what you cut out at the end?
Sorry, is this the end of this particular hallway?
Yes, it is.
If we're... I mean, I think we know where she went with the teleportation and what she did with the letter, so we could go check the hallway, or we could get back and figure out how we're going to fight our way out of this place.
I'm going to check the other hallway just to make sure the other journal isn't there.
Sure.
And I'm going to pocket the first journal as I say that.
Okay, very good. So,
I'd like to go with Vega if possible.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean...
As you,
Sorry, I was just going to say I'm going to go too, naturally, for...
okay. Anybody
No.
else? Is everyone pretty much leaving this
Yeah.
office area and continuing on? All right. So as you guys enter this next room, you see a few stacked boxes in this room for cold storage. It looks to be rations and the like. Very primitive. I would like everyone to make an investigation check as they enter the room.
Andy got a 19.
Lysander got a
15 for
15.
Silas.
Okay.
Lek with a 17.
Vega got 14.
All right.
I got the 14 too.
Sticks with a 10.
So, Lek and Andy, you both take notice of an iron lever that is sitting on the back side of those crates as you are drawn to the only pieces of only items inside of this room. You notice a small iron lever on the back side of these crates attached to the wall.
I'm going to walk up to it to get a closer look.
Andy's gonna do the same, and then she's gonna say, "We should make sure that isn't a trap."
Yes, good idea. Let's better to be safe than sorry. And can I look at it harder? Oh.
So, directing it, we'll use your same roll, into that specific location, it's really hard to tell. Like, it's just a lever on a wall, but you're not able to see anything that it's attached to or anything like that.
Can I do an Arcana check?
You wouldn't be able to find anything out with an Arcana check on this.
Fair enough. Well, what do you think, Adriana? Are we feeling testing our luck, just pulling a random lever, or should we just leave it and live the rest of our lives wondering what could have been?
What the hell? Just pull it.
With pleasure, I will pull the lever.
Thank you for specifying who is pulling the lever.
You are welcome.
Lek, I need you to listen closely as you pull the lever and you hear a pop from one of the walls as you see it has now become ajar, and you can pull on that lever just slightly and it starts to slide. As the rush of air starts to fill the chamber and snow starts to blow in, you found an escape route.
Well, this is interesting. Hey, you guys. While there was a teleportation rug in the other room, there seems to be a hatchway to escape over here. Which is quite perplexing as to how she actually decided to escape.
I'm sure she used her teleportation circle, but
That or she wants us to think so. I mean, that was in the more obvious location.
Or we have another way out if we want to just abandon those poor people down the river.
No.
let's just go grab them and bring them out with us. That way we don't have to fight everyone to leave.
Oh, what a good idea, Vega.
Again, we're not abandoning them. They're already dead.
Andy rolls her eyes at Silas, and she's gonna go get the people.
Yeah, I'm going to go with her, assuming that the two of us and all of them will fit in the boat.
Power to the people.
Okay, then I will go with her.
So, you guys make your way back down that icy channel, and you see into the room off to the side. There is a campfire that's been constructed, and you see everyone gathered around, keeping warm. And they look and they say, "Well, are we ready to fight our way out?"
We may not have to. We just found an escape hatch. Come with us.
And without hesitation, they head over in your direction, load into the boat. I assume you guys ride back to that channel.
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys make it back with the prisoners in tow. And as you guys start to look outside, and it's very dark outside, of course, it's nighttime. But you see that you are on the eastern side of this large hill, this where this castle sits. There is a way down, but it looks a little treacherous, especially with all this buildup of snow. It's really hard to tell what's an actual step and what's just a big chunk of snow that looks like it's on solid ground.
Andy's gonna hang back with the prisoners so that they can follow everyone else, and she can help them as necessary.
Okay.
As we leave, I would like to make it a point to see where we're at on the building, like, so I know how to get back to this hatch from the outside.
Oh yeah, easy enough.
Wonderful.
Go ahead and I'll just give it to you. As you start to look around at the building and you look back at the sliding opening door, you see that there's no way to open it from the outside. So unless this stays open, there may be no way to get back in.
That's what I was afraid of. Okay. Well, fair enough.
You could always destroy the door.
No, they'd discover that. There'd be no point.
But it would take some time to rebuild it.
Yeah.
Anyway, devil's advocate. Get the devil's advocate DM out of here. So, who is going to try to make the dissension first?
I vote not the clumsy elephant, but
Safe vote, I'd say.
This is a big hill of snow.
Yeah, so as you start to look down, you see that the snow goes downward. It's hard to tell what's rock face and what's just piles of snow, though.
I would like to go first then.
Okay. Go ahead and make your athletics check.
That is a 19.
Carcass, you're able to ascend your way down. You've cleared a good path as you find rocks to hold on to and step on all the way down. There's a few steps that you find no support going down, but you're able to move your foot and find something of a hard surface to climb down. So after about 5 minutes or so, you're able to descend the face of this cliff and make it down.
And when I get to the bottom, I will turn around and wave my arms to see if anyone sees me.
Oh yes, you see everybody.
Andy waves back.
And I will yell at them. That was really easy.
So, with everyone watching and seeing which path Carcass took, I would like you guys to make athletic checks. And I will make them for the prisoners.
Andy got a 21, and she'll help out the prisoners.
Yep, I'm rolling them with advantage. I'd assumed that.
Thank God I got a 16.
Zizix, Silas.
The almighty 7.
Okay.
Vega got a 9.
Okay. So Vega and Silas, you guys start to slip up a little bit, and you actually lose your footing. So I would like you guys to make dexterity saving throws to see if you can grasp onto anything, or if you would like to react differently, you can do so. Just let me know.
Oh, I've already rolled, so I guess I'm just gonna take it. 11.
That is just enough to get a good handle with both hands onto the cliff face as your feet are kind of swaying, seem to be blowing against the wind and trying to scurry your feet onto the rock face to get some support, and you're able to just hang on. Vega?
Yes! It's easy! I am mighty!
Sorry, I heard my name. What?
Excuse me. Dexterity saving throw, or if you have another idea to try to rebalance yourself as you've slipped and have started to fall.
I'm gonna reach out if I see anything in my vicinity to grab onto with either hand or my trunk. I'm gonna try with all three.
Okay, so go ahead and make the dexterity saving throw.
Okay. $19.
Oh yeah, especially with the help of the trunk, you're able to secure yourself not too far from where Silas had also slipped up. But you're able to secure yourself and even pull yourself back up onto the ledge just a hair. And with a little bit of time, you roll yourself back up onto the ledge, safe and sound, whereas Silas still hanging on.
I will try to help pull him back up too, using mostly my trunk.
That would be a strength check.
For me or him or both?
For you.
Okay. $11.
And that is just enough to pull Silas back up to safety.
Yeah.
And you are able to ascend the rest of the way down. The prisoners had no issue whatsoever. You guys have made it to the base of the rock of the cliff.
Wunderbar.
And with that, will be where we take our break, as it is 9 o'clock.
We should probably take them to another town.
Okay. So that's one vote, is to take them to another town. What says the rest of the party?
What is the closest town to here that would we know?
So if you were to travel south, that brings you to that fork between Bryn Shander, East Haven, and then further south to Goodmead. Alternatively, you could travel back north and go to Carrickhonig. That would be the closest town. But then the thought occurs to you that if these cultists do try to look for their prisoners, the closest town may not be the safest town.
Well, if we must take them with us, I say we go all the way to Goodmead with them, since that's very close to where our next stop should be anyways. And we know the people there. It's a good town. They take care of them.
That sounds fine to me.
All right. So with that being done, you guys start to venture towards the south and start to make your way through town and back on the road, unless you guys would like to cut through the wilderness to navigate south.
Oh, I absolutely would like to do that.
Would you? Would you really?
I don't know.
He can go do that.
Well, I won't go by myself. I've learned lessons, but I love saving time.
So, as you guys follow the rock face back around to the upward climb, which is the tavern at the base of the hill, it's about 400 feet away. Or you can see the lanterns hanging above the door there. You glance back up, and you hear the sound of metal glancing and battle happening up at the castle.
Oh dear.
I would like to run toward the castle.
Wait, Carcass.
I'll run off to Carcass saying, Carcass, way up!
There is fighting. I have to join.
And as you guys start to rush up the hill, you get a good image of what's going on as you see a collection of bugbears that seem to be actively fighting all of the cultists that are up there and fighting on their retreat. And they look down the hill and they see Carcass coming at full speed. And as Carcass, you arrive, and Zizek shortly before, the bugbears are able to shut the doors on the castle and press up against it to hold it closed. And one of the bugbears looks to you, Carcass, and said, "They turned on us. We got out of there just in time."
Who turned on you?
Oh man.
The cultists. All of a sudden, their amulets started glowing, and then they looked to us after their leader had a piece of paper in their hands condemning you for killing someone. And I'm upset about that because we weren't involved.
Oh, yes. I don't know who they mean. I have killed a lot of people.
We took out about 6 of them. If you want to finish them off now, we can.
Oh, yes, I would like that very much.
I would like to run up behind Zizek since he was chasing after Carcass
Sure.
and ask him real quick, what's going on?
Maybe not so quick.
Maybe, I don't know. Did I get there in time to hear all this?
You were probably coming in on the tail end of it, but you visually see the bugbears with blood on them. There's one less than you recall traveling with, who assumed has been felled inside. But he's happy to repeat it as you come up, so you would be informed.
Any of them are in there that you could see?
I think there's, by my count, 20 left.
How many bugbears do we have, Sam?
You guys have 7 bugbears.
Meaning we had 8, now we have 7, or we had
Yes.
7, now we have 6. Okay.
7 currently.
Well, between the rest of us, we could probably take them.
I think you're right, and we could give these people their home back.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to let the floodgates open.
And we can plunder the fortress. Ha!
Andy will suggest to the bugbears, can you let a few out at a time and then slam the door shut again?
And they look to you and they say, a choke point. Very astute maneuver. We can do that.
Great. Andy will nod and kind of get her warhammer ready, and she's going to look at the prisoners and say, before they open the doors, you need to go somewhere safe.
Oh, already ahead of you. As they make their way to the tavern.
Perfect.
I'm gonna load my crossbow.
Okay. So, let's see if we get this started. You guys are anticipating sort of a surprise round, so I'll let you guys hold an action for when the doors open, and then let's see, and then we will roll initiative, and I'll get order already.
Zizix is going to tell them to, or just tell the party and the bugbears to keep clear of the door as much as you can.
And then a couple of the bugbears look to you and they say, but we are holding the door.
Just be prepared for cover.
Okay. One second here. All right, so everyone at this point roll initiative and we'll get that order set. Andy.
I got a 7.
Carcass.
I also got this 7.
Zizix.
19.
Lysander.
6.
Vega.
17.
17. Lek.
Nat 1, so 3. My boots are untied.
And Silas got a 14. Right.
Yes, and did I take 20 damage, I hear?
No.
Dicks. Alright.
I just saw the Discord. Oh, man. All right. So, at this point, the bugbears look to you as you guys have your actions ready. we will go in order of initiative and which ones take place first. So the bugbears wait for your signal to open the floodgates, as it were.
So, who's top of the order on initiative?
Looks like you.
Oh, that doesn't happen. That's weird. Okay. So I'm going to give a potion to Pointy and command him to fly and remain hovering above the door.
Okay.
And command him that once the door is open, to fly in and drop said potion. Is there like windows or any kind of, I mean, other than the door, like can we see inside or anything?
No, it's Mac.
No, it's pretty solid. The only windows that you see are at the top level, and it looks like it, from your recollection of the layout of the room, would be like Kadroth's office is one of them, and then the other one was, I believe, one of the bedrooms that you guys would stay in.
Okay, and then I'm also going to command Pointy that is, fly up to the ceiling in that room before he drops it.
Into which room?
Like whenever he goes in through the door, to just fly up, and then once he hits the top of the ceiling to drop it.
Okay, very good. So are you guys ready in giving the bugbears the signal to let a few out?
I suppose so.
Yep.
Okay. The bugbears act in coordination. They open up the doors, and 5 of the cultists rush out. And quickly, the bugbears are also able to fight off the remaining cultists inside and close the door back shut. And you're able to command Pointy to fly in and drop the potion, right?
Yep.
Okay, that was your held action, and then what potion did you drop?
It's a potion of fireball.
All right. So the next wave of cultists who are not in there will make dex saves. Looks like one of them is going. Yeah, one of them fails royally. Go ahead and roll damage.
That's 23. That's really bad. Actually,
Okay.
I'm going to use a luck point.
To re-roll damage.
Yep.
All right.
That's 30 damage. Look, can you guys see those rolls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 6 6 1 6 1. Like,
Wow.
Oh yeah, it just shows us the total, I guess, not each individual.
okay, it was a 1. It was 3 1s, 3 6s, a 5, and a 4. Like,
Oh, so with the luck feat, you can't re-roll damage.
oh, you can't?
No, it specifically says you can re-roll a d20.
Oh. Okay, well, then it was 23 damage.
23 damage is the first one. All right. So that's definitely gonna hit a bunch of people because they'll take half damage of that. So the bugbears are then able to easily close off the doors just inside. So let's see. as they're closing the door, you see Pointy just release the potion, and big fire bursts through, and bits of flame escape through the closing door, and you see the door just rattles, and parts of it go splintering off outward, and they're able to hold it shut. It looks to be still intact, but then the 5 cultists look behind them, and they grasp at their amulets, and they start to charge in. So everyone else has their saved surprise round here, and next up would be Vega.
All right, I am going to cast Scorching Ray.
Okay.
So I will be making 3 attacks with that. I'll pick 3 different cultists, one with
Okay.
each.
Yep.
And let me roll those and tell you what I get. All right, I got a 15, a 16, and a nat 20 plus 5.
Yep. All of those will hit.
Fantastic. Let me roll that beautiful beam damage. I'll roll the damage for the nat 20 last.
Okay.
First one is 6.
Okay.
Second one is 12.
All right.
And let's see, we double the dice, right? You don't just
Yeah.
roll extra dice? Okay, then that is 16.
16. So you cast Scorching Ray, and the first one, it's a glancing blow, and gets them real good, but as you move on with the next attack, you just incinerate one cultist, and then the next one just incinerated as well. You're just on point. And these cultists, as they wince and they start to try to cover their wounds that they're taking, you see that they become enveloped in ice, and they start to freeze into place as their whole body is now encompassed in ice.
Interesting.
That's for 2 of them. 3 of them remain outside of the doors. So next on
Wait,
the
the two that I incinerated froze?
Yes.
That's how they die.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Silas, you are up.
Right, so forgive me, I'm still trying to play catch up. How many are there that I might be able to get in range
There are
of?
3 left outside the gate.
And I guess I could run up to one of them, can't I?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, then I'll get up to whichever one is closest, and I'll poke it with my rapier.
Poke it.
That's a 23.
That absolutely will hit. Roll your damage.
Wow, 10 piercing damage.
And you pierce right through the chest of these the robes that they're wearing, and you see him take a step back, and as you start to retract, you feel a gripping onto your sword, and as you pull off, you hear the splintering of ice as this cultist has started to freeze into place as well.
I think we might have more company than just these fucks.
Oh, this is just how they die.
Andy, your held action.
I'm going in with my warhammer.
Okay, 2 left.
17.
That will hit.
That'll be 5 damage.
5 damage. All right. And as you swing onto the one that Vega had previously hit Scorching Ray with, you just obliterate their... you feel the cracking of skull and bone as you land your strike. And as they start to fall downward, they freeze into place, being held in the exact position where they had lost consciousness, in mid-falling position. 2 remain outside of the gate. Or, I'm sorry, 1 remains. 1 remains. Anything else? That was just a held action, so that's
That'll
your
be
whole
it
turn.
for me, yeah.
And Carcass.
Yes. I would like to hit the one with my great axe, please.
Go for it.
That is an 18.
That absolutely will hit. Roll your damage.
That is 16 points of damage.
16. So you rear back with your great axe and you hit him with all your might in the midsection, and you actually split him into 2. And you see the shock on his face as he realizes what's happened. The glow of his amulet starts to emanate as he starts to freeze into place, sliding half of his body sliding off, and he is frozen into place as well. And that takes care of all of the cultists that are outside the gate. The bugbears look back to you and they give their nod of approval.
And I will give them a big smile.
So, with that, this resets. They seem to be pressing up against the door, and they open it just slightly, and they reveal about 6 or 7 different cultists inside of the door have actually enveloped into being frozen as well into place, as if in the exact position that they were in when the fireball had been released. So a good amount of them have been offed already, and you see, just by peeking inside, that there are about 7 or 8, roughly, left in the retinue.
Are they within 15 feet by chance?
No, they would be a bit further back. Anyone that was within 15 feet was taken care of by the fireball.
Oh, never mind.
So the bugbears look back to you guys and they say, should we do this again or should we storm the gates?
If I do something stupid, will you come for me?
No.
And the bugbear says, we have been paid. We will come for you.
Wonderful. Open the gates.
All right. Gates are open, and you see inside that there are 7 or 8 cultists making their way towards the door.
I'd like to move in and try and get within 15 feet of them and cast Thunderwave.
Okay. Is that a save on my part for them?
Yes, Constitution.
Constitution, all right. Let's see what these guys have for a bonus. Nothing to speak of. We're looking at 1 save out of the 8. I'm assuming the DC is higher than 13.
The DC is 15.
Yep.
That's unfortunately only 5 damage.
Okay. And they all get pushed back and knocked prone, if I remember correctly?
Well, they get pushed 10 feet away. It doesn't say anything about prone.
Okay. So they get pushed 10 feet back from your vicinity, and they fall through tables and chairs and ladders that are there, and I believe there's actually a few kendo sticks around too. But they fall back and they all start to stand back up and resume their charge.
Oh, it does say any unsecured objects that are completely within the area of effect also go flying. So I don't know if that'll do extra bludgeoning or not.
No, basically it would just push everything back. Well, I would say no, not in this case.
No worries.
So we'll go back. Let's see. Let's finish up with people who still haven't had their actions acted upon. So Lysander.
Oh shit, sorry.
That's all right.
So any that are wounded from that thunder wave,
Yes.
I would like to find one that is and cast Hunter's Mark as a bonus action
Okay.
and shoot him with my crossbow.
Go for it.
It's a 14.
Yeah, that's absolutely gonna hit.
Right. That will be 12 damage.
12 damage definitely takes out one cultist who is just standing up from being pushed back. And as he starts to make his advance, your crossbow just gets him right in the gut. And he doubles over onto his knees with his face down onto the ground, looking out at you as he starts to ice over as well.
All right.
Next up for their held action would be Lek.
Since Silas used Thunderwave, there's nobody within 10 feet of the remaining cultists, correct?
Technically, Silas is, because he pushed them back
Yeah.
10 feet. Yep.
I pushed them back 10 feet. Anyone that succeeded didn't get pushed back, but still took half damage.
One. There's one person that did succeed.
Wait, so when he pushed them back 10 feet, he got closer to them? He's still not...
They're still 10 feet away.
Okay, well that's perfectly fine then. I'm gonna go ahead and... Are they clumped together?
No, they're spread out, kind of like in a arch, as they were converging on Silas.
Are they in 10 feet within each other? Within 10 feet of each other?
You could get, if you target one, 2 on each side, I would say, would be
Alright,
within 10 feet.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Shatter.
Okay. That is a con save, I believe.
Yep, 15.
One save, the other two do not. So go ahead and roll that damage.
19.
Oh yeah. So all of them take this damage, and as they're getting back towards their advance, towards Silas in the middle, you cast Shatter, and all of these pieces of debris just shard them. The center one actually has nearly exploded itself, and then just by the very faint threads holding them together, they freeze back into place, and this person is mid-explosion. The other two are just holding on for what they can as they start to fall back yet again and freeze into place as well. There are 4 cultists remaining here. All right, and that will bring us back to the bottom of the order, actually, as the bugbears have to act, and they will then take their charge. Let's see. All 3 of those hit. All 3 of those hit. Everyone makes a hit. All right. Yep. With those damage rolls, the bugbears then take this moment to storm the castle and run right in, and each one of them taking on a remaining cultist and slaying them nearly immediately, and those cultists as well, freezing into place as they have been struck down. So at this point, the bottom floor seems to be safe. Kadroth is nowhere in sight. But it looks like the majority of the cultists here have been slain.
Were any of these cultists guards? Because the guards are typically wearing armor, aren't they?
It's leather armor.
Okay, but that's who this was?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Was Kadroth one of the cultists that we just killed?
No, you don't see any sign of him at this point.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, let's go find Kadroth, shall we?
Yes, let's.
All right, where would you guys like to go?
His office.
Seems a good place to start.
All right. So, you guys march your way up the stairs and over to his office. You're in front of the door. What would you like to do?
I'm going to tap on it lightly.
There is no response.
Kadroth, darling, are you there?
No.
Why don't you come out and talk, bud?
Kadroth is not here.
Don't make us come in there.
Just leave me be. I mean, just leave him be.
No, we're not going to do that. But if you come out, there's a chance we'll talk. If we have to come in there, that chance goes away.
Okay, just give me 1 second to prepare. And you hear some rustling going on behind the door.
Okay, time's up.
Wait, I'm not ready.
Don't care.
And you still hear the rustling continuing.
I'm opening the door.
Okay. The door opens and you see Kadroth is changing into new pants. Yellow ones. While the pants discarded behind him look to be
Brown
drenched
and
in a liquid. Or,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, I will kind of step back from the door after having opened it and seen that, and turn to the party and just kind of like hold up my finger, like, hold on.
I didn't tell them to do it. I don't understand.
Which part?
Well, we received word that you had murdered one of us. But I did not hear anything from Levistus himself.
Yeah, I think Avarice was kind of trying to take things into her own hands. Feel like that probably happens a lot.
Yeah, she has been slowly, gaining the servitude of my followers, slowly but surely, as, I'm sure word has reached your ear that supposedly Levistus does not like me very much and chose avarice instead of myself.
Yeah, I feel like she probably just made that up, but that's not important. Why don't you come out and have a talk with all of us, bud?
And bring the letter she wrote you, please.
I unfortunately do not have it. It was among one of the my comrades. They she did not send it directly to me. She sent it to one of them to pass around. I only heard wind of it.
So anybody can just give orders around here?
Well, like I had mentioned, avarice had started to gain the loyalty of our followers, and they could have, acted on Levistus's word if it was truly his word, but it's hard to say at this point. When they found out who it was that was murdered, he was sort of the lovable goof, and everyone enjoyed his company, and they reacted accordingly. I'm sure you understand.
Well, why don't we talk about those prisoners for a second?
Yes, them. Uh-huh.
Got anything to say about them at all? Do you?
Well, it was a choice that they were given. We offered them sanctuary here. We just needed a place to call our own, as was determined by Levistus for us to do. They declined, so we did what we were told.
I'm getting real sick of this manifest destiny bullshit. What gave you the right?
Levistus.
Cool.
But I assure you, we had the town's interest at heart. We were able to negotiate the fishing rights between East Haven. The town speaker is alive and makes his appearances every now and then.
Where is he?
Well, he's in his room. You can find it on the other side of the castle here.
I want to roll insight on that.
Sure, go ahead.
Seven.
I mean, for a man who just recently soiled himself, he seems to be holding it together.
I'm gonna turn to the rest of the party. At this point, he's just striking me as kind of pathetic. What should we do with him?
Do you believe there to be any more knowledge we can get from him?
Not that I can think of at the moment, but that doesn't mean there's nothing.
I think he's told us the truth. We should give him his life.
Maybe we could use him to test out traps when we're moving into
No.
dangerous places. Just the thought.
I'm gonna turn to him, look him in the eye, and then point at the door and say, "Don't ever come back."
Very well. Zizix, you'll find that your laboratory was preserved. I made sure no one entered at any means. It was nice knowing you, for the record. And if it means I get to live, then I hope our paths do not cross again. But if you don't kill me on sight, I would not be averse to that.
Just don't think that your God gives you more rights than anyone else ever again. And we won't have a problem.
We did not kill anybody when we took this place.
They were practically dead when we found them. You may as well have.
Well, be that as it may. And thank you for sparing me.
And we did also find bodies down there, so I'm pretty sure there were deaths when you took this place.
Yes, there were, but those were prisoners that had not survived or refused to eat. They were doing a hunger strike.
Well, as long as you're proud of yourself.
I did what I was told.
Do you know where she went?
About the man that's frozen in ice down there in Avarice's corridors.
Oh, that's just a mannequin. That's not a person.
Insight.
Yeah.
Sure.
$18.
16.
You both kind of came to the same conclusion that the answer came out quickly, and he obviously has nothing to hide at this point, is what you're kind of grasping.
What? And Vega's gonna kind of start rubbing his forehead a little. Why is there a mannequin frozen in ice, surrounded by brown mold?
Well, to keep it cold, of course, but like I said, we did not want to kill anybody, so we made in honor to Levistus, and did not take a life for it. We may be evil, but we have a code.
Okay.
Do you know where Avarice's teleportation pad leads to?
Honestly, she would not give me that information, even if I had asked.
I mean, I'll insight check, but I almost half believe him.
Okay.
Well, 9, so I guess I whole believe him.
Well, it's tough to tell, but you're inclined to believe him at this point with the previous insight checks from the rest of the party and just the general conversation that's being had here.
Ah, very well. I suppose you have no clue where she might have gone to outside of where her teleportation pad leads?
Your guess is as good as mine. Like I said, Levistus, through the few months or so that have passed, I've heard less and less from, and Avarice seems to be the chosen point of contact now, and if she was given orders, then she went where she was told.
I see.
Where else would we find other cultists?
Like us? This was it. This was all of us. To my
Insight.
knowledge. Yeah. Go ahead.
Great, cool. I totally believe that.
No, you think he's lying.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody.
But he reiterates, looking at your reaction. He says, "I swear to you, this is the only retinue of the black swords that I am aware of. If Avarice was building strength elsewhere, it would be with the help of the Arcane Brotherhood, not us."
Let's see.
Black swords, is that some sort of initiation? Frostbite your dicks?
You're still relatively new here, but I'll explain.
No,
All
don't
of-
bother.
Okay.
Quite alright.
As he was grasping at his amulet to explain the story, and then quickly puts it back at his hip, as you are not interested. And Kadroth looks to each of you and says, "If there's nothing else, I will take my leave."
I think that's probably best.
Very well.
I would actually like to know about that amulet. Tell me about the blue aura that glows on those amulets you have. I do want to know about that.
And he looks to you and he says, "Well, if you see it glowing, that means Levistus is active. He is communicating with somebody. Who, it's unsure, but and also of times of dire need, the amulet will glow. As all of us who have acquired one of these, we found them in the wilderness, trying to traverse the snow. Every single one of these people here were at the precipice of death, freezing out in the wilderness. They find these," as he holds up his amulet, "and they are given to us as a gift from Levistus, that he will protect us from the harshness of winter in exchange for servitude. And by accepting this amulet is our confirmation that we will survive and we will serve."
Clearly.
That's funny. Very well,
Well,
Kadra.
As I could tell from the sounds of battle, it was not the cold that killed any of us, it was a fireball.
Zizix is just gonna have a proud look on his face.
That's just a fireball.
I guess before I ask him this, I might already know this. Do I know where Avarice's quarters or office are in this building?
You guys were, well, that was it down below that you guys discovered.
That was it? She doesn't have anything up on the
No.
surface level?
She spent
Okay.
all of her time in the basement whenever
Well,
she
shit.
wasn't moving around up top.
And I still only found the one journal. Okay. Then never mind, I won't bother asking that.
Okay. Anything else before Kadroth makes his exit? Going once, going twice, and Kadroth starts to walk through the bodies of the bugbears and yourselves and make his way down the stairs. And as he makes his exit, he places his hand on each block of ice that he walks by containing one of his compatriots. His head held low. Makes a quiet, very solemn exit out of the fort.
It's actually sad. I actually really liked him.
Me too.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, it is. Well, I guess let's go tell the prisoners they have their home back. Although first, maybe we should go try and find the speaker and see if he's actually sick in his room like they said.
Yeah. Andy will head that way.
I would like to hang back and investigate the rest of Kadrat's office for anything of note.
Okay. Let's see here.
Oh, if I see him just starting to look around as I'm walking off, I'll yell back. If you see Avarice's other journal in here for some weird fucking reason, let me know, alright?
Will do.
But don't try to open it. The first one almost fucked me up.
Noted.
So make an investigation check, Lysander. We'll resolve this first.
That's an 8.
So the only thing that you're able to find is another set of keys. This set of keys is a lot, has many more keys than the first set that you took off the guard. But other than that, there's really nothing of note. There's a few linens and bottles of mead that are stored up here. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of luxury in this office.
I will hold on to the keys.
Okay. So, the rest of you move on to finding the town speaker, I assume?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Unless
And-
there's an obvious treasure room nearby, yeah, that's what I'd do.
Now, you guys would know if there's a treasure room up top anyway. You guys explored the bottom, so you would be aware, or at least...
Then yes.
Actually, Lek, there is a room that has a bunch of names scrawled into it on the upper level.
When you say names scrawled into it, do you mean like just on the door there's a bunch of names, the door's open and I see a bunch of names on the wall?
It's on the actual door itself, and the door is closed.
And there's a bunch of names on the door.
Yep, and you see among those names is Lysander's, Zizix, and then a bunch of names you don't recognize, and Kadroth is there.
Is anybody near me from party right now?
Yeah, you guys are collectively walking back down the staircase, and that catches your eye.
Would anyone mind explaining the meaning of this doorway with some of your names on it? It's like the Mile High Club.
Zizix, you wanna take that one?
Sure.
Hey DM, real quick, I gotta hop off, but I'll see you guys next week.
Okay, see you then.
Just sure, and that's it.
I think he's constructing a response.
Dying of curiosity.
I'm quivering with anticipation.
Say it.
I guess I missed half of what it was.
Oh, he was asking about the door that has all of your names scrawled into it, into your Zizix's zontical zone.
Oh, and what it's for?
Yeah, Lek has no idea what that door is. He just sees a door with a bunch of names on it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I'm sorry. I did not hear that whatsoever. That was.
No, you're good. Actually, it was just funny because I was like, Zizix, you want to take this one? And you said, sure. And then nothing else.
It happens.
Hey, it's how I do. Well, I mean, it's my room, and only those with their names on it can go in there.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. So it's all of your little things in there that you do things with, I suspect. Experiments and whatnot.
You could say that.
Very well. I've been around you long enough to have a pretty good idea, so I'll leave it at that.
But that's the closest thing that you've noticed is any sort of like treasure room kind of thing.
Fair enough. Noted. Moving on.
So, as you guys traverse through the Great Hall, go around the kitchen, you find a room that goes underneath the back staircase. It has a lock on it.
Hey, Lysander, can I see those keys?
Sure.
Or wait, he stayed back, didn't he, to find the keys? So he wouldn't be with us.
Yes,
with
true.
them. Damn.
That's why he was hidden. Okay.
But I still have the other set of keys, right?
Yes.
I will try them.
Okay.
Actually, first I'll just check and see if the door's even locked. I'm sure.
is.
Oh, you said there's a
It
lock
is.
on it.
Yes.
That's
Like a
right.
padlock.
Yes, I will try those keys then.
The second key actually works on this.
Hooray! Then I
And-
will unlock it and lightly tap on the door as I slowly open it.
So, as you slowly open this door, the sound of the lock unlatching has stirred movement in this room, and you hear a voice saying, "Oh, what is it now? What am I needed for?"
Do we know the name of the speaker of this town?
Yes, it was mentioned at the meeting of the town speakers in Bryn Shander. His name is Cranach Seaver.
Okay, then as I open the door, I'll say, are you Cranach Seaver?
Imagine my captors not knowing my name. Yes, that is I. Cranach Seaver.
We're not your captors there, bud. My name is Luke Skywalker, and I'm here to rescue you.
Luke! I knew you'd come.
Sorry, I've always wanted to say that.
So you're not Luke.
No, my name's Vega, but I am here to rescue you, though.
He is also a little short for a stormtrooper.
It's about damn time.
I'm actually pretty tall. Yeah, agreed. How long have you been held captive in here?
Few months, I'd say. It's hard to keep
Well.
track of time in this closet.
Jesus. And I'm gonna look around. Is it literally just a closet?
I mean, there is a bed, there is like a few dressers, and it looks like a very, it looks like it could be fashioned into a decent room, but it is very small.
So it's like Harry Potter's room under the stairs?
Kinda, yeah, it's a little bit bigger
Yeah,
than that, I'd
yeah.
say.
Okay. Well, friend, why don't you come on out and stretch your legs? We're going to go get your people and bring them back to you.
Ah, finally. Power. Ah,
Did you say power?
he did.
Ah, shit. I'm going to kind of raise my eyebrow at him saying that and kind of look to Andy.
Andy just looks like she's emotionally done. Like, she has a look on her face like, we just fucked up and we just murdered people and they were only retaliating because, you know, one of theirs was killed, and what the fuck have we done is essentially what her face says.
That's a lot from a look. Damn.
Yeah, she doesn't look good.
She's very expressive. Okay, then out loud, Meg will be like, "Okay, we'll be back."
Wait, no! And I can see from your friend's face it's extremely expressive. I've been devoid of power and the ability to even make my own appearances and talk to my own people for so long. That's all I want, is I want to reassure them. That is all. That is all that I mean by that.
You have to understand that they're all a bit touchy about anything related to that right now.
Yeah, I was about to say insight on that too.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make your insights.
I rolled a nat 1.
Too busy focusing on your own expressions.
I got 15.
15? I mean, it seems like what he said was an overstatement earlier, but he's speaking with at least a kernel of truth now.
Okay, makes me feel a little better, I suppose. Well, we're gonna go get your people and bring them back to you. We will return momentarily.
Wait, I must fetch my garb. And he rushes off to his old office if you allow him to exit the room.
Yes, that's fine.
So, as he rushes off and he heads back into Droth's office, he actually runs into Lysander. You, metal man! What are you doing in my office?
Excuse me, and who the hell are you?
Why, I'm Kranox Siva, town speaker of Cardinival. And who are you?
Lysander Blackburn.
Ah,
I just so... Yeah,
well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. If you don't mind, it has been quite a while since I have had access to my office, if I may have a bit of privacy in here. Who soiled themselves? As he looks down the floor and he catches the whiff of poor Kadroth.
it certainly was not me.
I don't suppose it would be.
Exactly. I do not even have the ability to produce such things. But yes, I will move you to your office.
I had made those assumptions, but I quite frankly don't care what parts you do or don't have. But thank you for allowing me privacy into my office.
But yeah, I will be keeping the keys. I'm not going to say that to him, but I'm going to hold on to them as I leave.
Yeah, that's fine. Are you stashing them in your bag and sleight of hand kind of thing?
If he came in as I had found them, then I suppose yes.
I guess enough time had passed that you'd probably stash them away, so we'll say they're in your pack. I assume you wouldn't spend your whole time looking at keys.
No.
So,
You are correct.
ooh, this
Ugh.
one's got a shade of blue. This one's sparkly.
Yeah.
So,
I
as
mean,
you
that's
give
what I
him
would
his,
have done
as
personally.
you give him his
but-
leave, he shuts the door behind you, and you hear a bunch of rustling going on from inside that office, and a few expletives being shouted at random things as he's going through his old stuff. So, what would the rest of you like to do?
I'll go and meet back up with everybody else.
Yep.
Did we get a description of him, by the way?
Yeah, so he is a human. He is silver-haired with kind of like a Tom Selleck mustache, short hair, looks to be slightly balding. He's not super muscular. He looks to be kind of frail at this moment. However, he does not look sick, if that makes sense.
Right on. Right on.
So Lysander makes his way downstairs, and the rest of the party is there as well. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I suppose we should go get his people and bring them back here. I mean, at least a few of us should.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to tidy up a bit too. What should we do with all these frozen bodies?
Well, let's bring them back, and they can help deal with that. 'Cause
Very well.
It's their home to remake, not ours.
Fair enough. I would like to retrieve my arrow from the one that I shot.
So
Oh, it froze over it, didn't it?
yes, it did.
Yep. Okay. Never mind.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
That is a 15.
So with that, as you start to maybe go and try to retrieve your arrow, you see that it's stuck in there real good. And this ice, it's so cold. It's extremely cold. And curiosity kind of piques your interest, but with that investigation check, you kind of surmise that even this ice can't be melted with fire.
It can be melted with fire,
It cannot.
but not be melted with fire. Huh. That is very interesting. I would like to pull out another arrow, and instead of touching the ice, or did I already touch the ice? Was that part of my investigation?
Yeah, it was part of the investigation.
Okay, so I didn't like freeze with it or anything.
No.
Okay, good. I would like to rap on the ice with my metal knuckles.
Sure.
What happens?
It just feels like you're knocking on ice. Consistency seems to be the same as you would like a glacier or something like that.
Okay. I would, while we're passing through, like to look for one of these guards that got a hold of the letter. See if I might be able to read anything or. see anything.
Unfortunately, when you try to go to loot any of the bodies, they've been encrusted in very thick ice. So you can't even try to see what's been on their person.
Okay. Alright, let's go.
So, as you guys start to make your way out, in front of the doors, it seems that the prisoners have already gathered the populace of town. As they sit at the door, looking onto the bugbears that have held down the fort. And as the door opens and you guys are revealed, the town cheers. And they say, "Finally! We are free again. The people that were missing, they've told us everything. The town speaker is fine. He is not sick. Is this true?"
Oh, he seemed fine to me.
Indeed.
And the crowd begins quietly muttering, but growing in volume. Cry knock, cry knock, cry knock. And they start chanting for Crannock Seaver. And as you guys are taking in this moment of the populace being very excited for the return of their leader, "People of Cardenival!" As you look behind you and see that Crannock has dressed up into like 3 different robes that are layered on top of each other. One of the robes has been wrapped around his head, kind of like a pope hat. And he raises his arms and he says, "People of Cardenival, we are a free people again. Free to act as we will, as we should. We should vie for power within the 10 towns. We will reclaim our ability to trade freely. We will fight for our rights to the fishing avenues that are available to us, not only from East Haven, but anyone that encroaches, barbarians, giants alike. We will ascend back to power." And the crowd cheers at this revelation. And he continues on and he says, "To celebrate, I will put in for 6 barrels of mead from Good Mead, and we will drink, and we will celebrate, and rations out the window. The first 10 day of fishing will be available to all." And raises his hands to accentuate his statement. And the crowd ravenously cheers. And they look to the rest of you and Speaker Crannock, and he says, "Now, these adventurers have retrieved me from captivity, as well as many other individuals that were held against their will. Who must we thank for this endeavor?" As he motions to you guys, and you see Silas with his eyes really wide, and he's about to speak.
And we never came up with a name, and I don't want it to be Silas's Angels.
Silas's Angels!
No.
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 Andy just kind of makes a subtle exit.
Man, I feel so on the spot. Like all the times we've been called Silas's Angels, you think one of us would have actually actively tried to come up with a better name, but I never have.
Well, if you have no name, I shall bestow one upon you.
By all means.
The Caregivers. Because this care has been given to us.
You know what? I like it more than Silas's Angels.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
Oh, man. Oh. And the crowd begins to chant as Andy is walking away from the group. Caregivers! Caregivers! And at this point, the
Andy
revelry.
glances at the bodies and just keeps walking.
Wait, where is Andy walking to?
She's walking down the hill, I assume?
Yeah.
Or are you going back into the castle?
No, she's walking down the hill.
Then I would try and catch up to her and stop her. Andy, don't you think we should try and sleep in the castle tonight? We could really use some rest.
Yeah, probably. I would just feel a little disgusted.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
I didn't murder anyone, and we did.
I'm gonna lean down to her. I know it doesn't feel like it, but I still think we did the right thing.
Maybe. I'm not so sure anymore.
They were wrongfully imprisoned. There's no reason they should have been there.
Yeah.
We freed innocent people. It was a rough way for it to happen, but I mean, these were cultists worshiping an evil god and imprisoning people just because their god somehow gave them the right to. I think we did the right thing.
I'm not sure if we went about it the right way.
Probably not, but we did the best we could with what we had in the moment.
I'll be in a bit. I just need to think.
Okay, find me when you come in and let's get plastered.
Okay.
And Vega's gonna go back.
Okay. So, as Andy makes her way down the upward climb, the crowd still chanting caregivers, caregivers. Is there anything you guys would like to do at this moment?
Apart from basking in the glory of our adoring public.
Yes, apart from that.
I suppose not.
All right. So this continues on for a few minutes, and then Speaker Krennic raises his hand in the air and he says, "Now, who wants to help me arrange these bodies in such a way that we can point and laugh?" Look at this one! This one! As he walks over to one. He's in pieces!
Oh my god.
And a number of individuals start going into these iced over bodies, and you see a few of them trying to melt them down to make them easier to move, but they're unsuccessful. This ice is basically permafrost, but they start moving them into the garden off to the left. And Speaker says, "Here they will remain for 9 days, until they defrost, and we will eventually dispose of them. So let's get it while we have it." Surrounded by cheers. The first garden gnomes. Oh. So, as the pageantry has started to die down a bit, as people have started moving the bodies of the cultists and arranging them to their liking, what would you guys like to do?
Vega's gonna go inside, back to what was his room, knowing that he may or may not be able to keep that as his room. that he's going to go in there and kind of lay down and start reading.
Right. Everybody else just winding down from the day.
Yes, since this all started with my search for food, I would like to go and finish and find some food.
Hey. Where
Oh my
would you
god,
like
that
to
is
go?
how this started.
It is how all this started.
Holy shit.
Would you like to go back down to the basement to find food?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So you go back down through the hatch, and you see there's remnants of a couple campfires, one in this room, and then one in the room on the right. Where would you like to go?
Well, I know originally I was headed toward the kitchen and got sidetracked by the hatch.
Yes. Yes, you were.
So I would like to try and find my way to the kitchen again.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you did not go down the hatch. You just continued searching. Let's see. Okay. So eventually, you find another room as you continue down that path. It doesn't smell good. You don't smell anything coming from that room.
I would like to open the door if I can anyway.
Yeah, that door opens. And inside you take a look around, and it looks like that there's just a bunch of furniture in here. Doesn't look to be any food.
Oh, then I will shut the door behind me and continue my search for the foods.
And as you shut the door, you see someone coming around the corner, and you recognize him as the chef.
My eyes will get very big, and I will charge at him with a big hug.
And he sees you coming, and he is going to try and outrun you.
Okay, good luck.
Make an athletics check.
That is a non-natural 20.
And you make such haste over towards him. You tackle him from behind and wrap your arms around him and give him a big hug. He says, Carcass, let me go!
Okay, point me to the food. And I will just drop him on the ground.
Okay. And he says, all right, I have something cooking. Just follow me.
Okay.
And you guys make your way back towards the kitchen. And inside you see sausages that are on a broiler that seem to be very delicious. And then you see a couple wheels of cheese that have been acquired. And then you see a lot of knucklehead trout that are hanging up and drying, making jerky, it looks like.
Can I have some of this sausage?
He says, of course, it's not quite done, but I don't think you care if it's...
No, that is okay. You just put it on a plate and I will eat it.
And sure enough, he pulls off about 5 or 6 links and puts them on a plate and hands it to you.
Okay, and as he gets the links, I would like to open my bag and shove a wheel of cheese inside.
Doing it stealthily or out in the open?
Oh no, this is my wheel of cheese now.
And you do just that. He does not question you whatsoever. He just lets you do it.
How many sausages do I have?
He hands the plate to you and he says, 6 links of sausages, just for you.
How many do you have cooking?
I have another couple dozen more on the cook, or in the oven.
Okay, this is very good for a start.
There'll be more soon, I assure you.
Okay, then I would like to eat 4 of them and put the rest in my bag.
Yeah, easy enough. As you finish up your food, or what are you doing now?
Well, it's been a very long day, and I still don't feel my best, so I would just lay my head down and try to go to sleep.
In the kitchen?
Oh yeah, if I would like to go sit at a table to eat my
Okay.
sausages, but I will just put my head down right there.
Okay, very good. So the rest of you then, as Carcass had his venture for food, what would you like to do? As Andy has descended down the hill, you guys, Vega's upstairs reading. What of the rest of you?
I would like to go and talk to Zizix.
Zizix will be in his lab.
Okay. And then what of, let's see, Lek? Anything in particular you would like to do?
I think I'll go hit on some of the women in the square.
You gonna hit on the women in the square? Okay. Very good. Go ahead and give me a charisma check.
With pleasure. A filthy 20.
A filthy 20. All right. How would you like to hit on them?
I'll come up to one and I'll say, I've had my eye on you.
They did not enjoy that whatsoever, and they say, well, you can take your eye elsewhere.
Damn.
She rolled well. She rolled well.
I guess she did.
But as you continue your search, Zizix and Lysander have a conversation inside of the Zontical Zone.
So, upon knocking on the door,
Come on, knock on my door.
I will knock on the door.
He's been waiting for you.
Is there somebody there?
It's me, Lysander.
Oh?
May I come in?
Well, yes. Your name is on the door.
Yes, but it's a matter of courtesy, you know. Would you like me to scratch Kadroth's name off the door?
Zizix will just kind of wave his hand and it'll just magically disappear.
That works too. So I'll come in and close the door. And I would like to pull out the amulet that I took off of Thadic.
Yep.
And I would like to place it on the table in front of him and say, I know that we got some information out of Kadroth about this thing, that whenever it glows blue, it means that Levistus is communicating with someone. But I was wondering if you might be able to, one, detect magic, see what kind of magic it is, And maybe if there is a way that we could find out who he is communicating to.
What you're asking is quite in depth. I'm not sure if my skills could reveal that. But I'm happy to take a look.
By all means.
So what would you like to do?
I'll kind of still ask Lysander some questions here. So, how did you get this?
I took it off of Thaddeus before I killed him.
And why did you kill him?
He needed to be killed. In fact, the way I see it, he would have been killed in the battle that we took in the castle anyway. What difference does it make?
Agreed, but it seemed a little not you. Usually, you don't kill in cold blood like that.
I just shrug. I understand that I'm asking a lot out of this amulet here, but I believe with your skill set we might be able to find something. I wouldn't entrust this to anybody else to detect such a thing.
Oh, I'll find something. If you just leave it with me, and when I find something out, I will let you know.
Very well. Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss?
One thing I did want to also ask is that ring that Andy gave you or put on you. What exactly did it do to you?
I don't know. But it hurt like hell.
The same thing happened to Lek, if I recall.
I recall.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know what to tell you, Zizix.
Oh, that's all I wanted to know. You know, we've been good friends for a long time now, and you know, I don't think that you're a bad person.
I appreciate that. I don't think that I've given you any reason to think so. You're right. We have been good friends. I would like to keep it that way.
Well, me too. We've been through a lot, so we have history.
That we do.
But I also want to keep an eye out for you too.
And I appreciate you having my back and coming to my defense earlier today. And always looking out for you too, friend.
Well, of course. Well, I think this thing's gonna keep me up all night, so if you don't mind, Zizix will turn away and start kind of investigating, doing his rain dance kind of thing, and
Yep. All right. And Lysander, do you leave him to it, or are you hanging around to watch?
Well, I'll ask him, would you care for the company? Or would you like me to leave you be?
and when Zizix is in that trance, he never responds to questions.
Then I'll wait.
All right.
Or I would ask him before, actually. Now that I think about it. Because
Yeah,
I
you would.
Yeah, and I mean, and then Zizix would probably say, "Oh no, I work better alone."
Very well. I'll tip my hat to him. Good night to you. And I'll leave.
All right.
And then he'll start rain dancing.
And just going around in a circle around the amulet.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you come to complete your identify ritual, the only thing that you can extract from this amulet is that it's cursed. There is a number of different things that are happening that you can get just like faint traces of. But every time you try to follow one of those traces to a source, you feel like you're being blocked by something, someone. The only thing you can pull away with is that this is a cursed object.
Gotcha. And would I know how the curse like activates?
That's one of those traces that you can never really pull through.
Gotcha.
All right. And with that, I think this will be a good spot to end tonight's session.
Whoop woo!
All right. Wow. That was
Hooray!
a productive night, I feel like.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
We got some meat and potatoes out of the way.
Carcass found some
Cool,
sausages.
Yeah, and got his food finally after all of that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
took
that was-
2 sessions.
That was the important part. Yeah.
It felt like it for Carcass.
But who knows what this transition of leadership will bring to Caer Dineval as the caregivers that are at least known within Caer Dineval as such have been named. We'll see next week how that pans out for Silas when he finds that out. But hope you guys had a good time. I sure as hell did. I hope everyone enjoyed watching. I hope my players enjoyed playing tonight. It was a very good session, very fun session. A good return from the 3-week hiatus we had from pushing this story. So if you haven't already, hit the like button on the YouTube video if you're watching the next day on YouTube. If you are not following yet, hit the follow button. Get notified each time that we go live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central. And if you feel so inclined, we always appreciate any subs or Twitch Primes or Prime Gaming subs that you can send our way. It helps us fund all of our artwork, all of our new characters when they eventually will perish. That is always appreciated very much. For myself and the rest of the party, we wish you guys a good rest of your week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
All right, I'm practically falling asleep, so I gotta bow out.